Humanity has done some staggering things. We've broken matter down to the atom, captured an image of a black hole, read out the entire human genome, and set machines down on distant worlds. With a track record like that, it's tempting to assume that the work is mostly finished, that only the footnotes are missing. But that assumption is just wrong. Some of the most fundamental questions imaginable about your own thoughts, about the stuff that surrounds you, and about why you're even here to ask this question, have no real answer yet. Not nearly cracked, not we've got a hunch, just no answer. What follows are 10 of them, and here's what catches people off guard. These aren't strange, far-flung puzzles. Most of them are happening to you, right now. Number 10, why we sleep. Roughly a third of your existence will be spent switched off. If you think about it through the lens of evolution, that's almost absurd. Going limp and senseless in the dark for hours on end is precisely the sort of weakness nature usually weeds out. And yet, sleep shows up almost everywhere we look in nature. Flies do it, even jellyfish. Creatures with no brain at all do it. We can describe sleep down to the detail, and we know it isn't a luxury. Keep an animal from it long enough and the animal dies. The piece we're missing is the only one that counts. What's the point of it? Theories aren't in short supply. It conserves energy, it locks in memories, it rinses waste out of the brain. Every one of those holds up to a degree, but none of them alone accounts for why such a hazardous behavior is so widespread. The most routine act of your day stays one of biology's greatest unsolved cases. Number 9, what consciousness actually is. At this very moment, there's something it feels like to be you. You're not merely registering light and sound, you're living them. Red has a redness, pain has a sting, a memory carries a taste. Thinkers call this the hard problem, and the difficulty is total. We can't say how it comes about. We can chart the brain in stunning resolution, track individual neurons lighting up, and tie that activity to particular thoughts and emotions, but charting the hardware says nothing about the felt experience. Why would a few pounds of electrified tissue generate a private inner world at all? Why isn't everything just running silently, with nobody experiencing it? We can't say. We can't even agree on what a satisfying answer would need to contain. Number 8, what most of the universe is made of. Here's a fact to keep you humble. Everything you've ever observed or handled, every star, every world, every atom inside you, comes to about 5% of the universe. The remaining 95% is something we can't detect head on. About a quarter of it is dark matter, unseen mass we only know about because its gravity warps light and keeps galaxies from falling apart. The bulk of the rest is dark energy, some baffling push that appears to be speeding up the expansion of everything. We've given both names, we've measured what they do with real precision, but as for what they actually are, we're essentially in the dark. We assembled a full portrait of the cosmos only to discover we can make out only the faintest fraction of it. Number 7, why anesthesia works. Every single day, countless people are switched off completely so that they can be operated on. A drug goes in, and consciousness just stops. No pain, no recollection, no awareness that any time went by. It ranks among medicine's greatest achievements, and yet we can't fully explain this trick. We know which compounds do the job, and about how much to give, but the exact way anesthesia erases awareness, how it takes the mind's lights and fades them all the way down to nothing, is still up for debate. We're switching off, dependably and constantly, the very thing we can't explain to begin with. Which loops us straight back to number 9. Number 6, ball lightning. The reports have been remarkably consistent for centuries. In the middle of thunderstorms, luminous orbs, some no bigger than a grapefruit, gliding through the air. They pass through windows, they linger, sometimes they fade without a sound, sometimes they go off with a bang. We call it ball lightning, and reliable witnesses have been describing it for hundreds of years. The trouble is that scientists still can't pin it or recreate it on command. There are guesses, vaporized soil, pockets of trapped plasma, electrical behavior we don't quite grasp, but no agreement and no dependable recipe to summon it. A sight recorded across cultures and across centuries, and we still can't say with confidence what it is. Number 5, why we yawn. This is one of the most awkward in its plainness. You yawn over and over throughout the day. Nearly everyone does, and the reason still escapes us. The classic explanation that a yawn tops up your oxygen has largely fallen apart. More recent ideas suggest it might be cooling the brain or flagging a change in how alert you are. None of them is confirmed. Then there's the genuinely odd wrinkle. Yawning spreads. See someone do it, or just read the word, and you might feel it coming on. You may be resisting one this very second. Why something so universal behaves this way is a real open question. A thing you'll do today without a second thought that nobody can fully account for. Number 4, the origin of life itself. At some point on the young Earth, around 4 billion years back, chemistry crossed over into biology. Inert molecules, the sort you'd find in any warm pool with the right ingredients, somehow came together into something that could copy itself, draw on energy, and evolve. That crossing from non-living to living is the whole reason you're here, and how it happened is a blank. We've got encouraging fragments. We can build a few of life's components in the lab. We've got plausible settings like deep sea vents and tide pools. But the actual jump, the instant lifeless chemistry first becoming a living thing capable of reproducing, stays unexplained. The most consequential event in our planet's story, our human story, and we're still scratching our heads backwards on how it came to pass. Number 3, the placebo effect. Hand someone a sugar pill, call it medicine, and a surprising share of people genuinely improve. Real measurable shifts, less pain, milder symptoms, driven by nothing more than belief. The placebo effect is among the most dependable things in all of medicine, and is also one of the eeriest. An expectation shouldn't be able to physically mend the body, and yet, at some extent, it plainly does. Stranger still, in certain studies, placebos appear to work even after patients are told flat out that what they're taking is a placebo. The mind is reaching into the body and altering it by some route that we can watch unfold, but we cannot fully explain. Number 2, how deeply your gut shapes your mind. You are entirely your own. Trillions of microbes call your body home, most of them packed into your gut, and we're just starting to grasp how much sway they hold. This goes well past digestion. There's an ongoing back and forth between your gut and your brain, and the bacteria inside you seem to have a seat at the table. A growing body of research ties the gut microbiome to mood, to stress, even to slices of cognition. Swap the microbes in animals and you can shift their behavior, but the complete picture of how the contents in your intestines hold a conversation with your thoughts is still being sketched. The notion that part of who you are might hinge on which creatures you happen to be carrying is a frontier we've only just stepped onto. And finally, number 1, why time only moves forward. This may be the most profound mystery on the list, precisely because you're submerged in it and every walking instant. Time runs one way. The past is set, the future is open, and forward is the only direction you can go. It seems so self-evident that questioning it feels odd, but here's the catch. The basic laws of physics don't insist on it. Almost all the core equations behave identically whether time advances or rewinds. Not one of them dictates which way the current should run. And still, you never watch a shattered glass spring back up on the table and knit itself whole. The strongest account we have leans on entropy, the universe's drift towards disorder, but why the universe set out in such an astonishingly ordered state, the very condition that gives time its arrow, is something nobody can explain. The most elementary feature of your whole existence, the unstoppable forward pull of each passing moment, is something physics still can't fully justify. So, there you have it. 10 things, from the microbes in your gut to the far reaches of space, from the sleep you'll sink into tonight to the very current of time sweeping you along, that science still can't fully explain. And maybe that's the thrilling part. It's easy to imagine the great era of discovery is over, that every big question already has been put to rest. The reality runs the other way. There are still vast empty stretches on the map, and some of the widest sit right at our feet. The universe is stranger than we realize, and perhaps stranger than we're capable of realizing. Whoever finally cracks these questions may not even be alive yet, or maybe they're watching something just like this, right now, turning over the very same things you are.